Hey ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russert. It is Friday night. I hope you had a good week, but I'm sure we're all glad that it's over and we're hitting the weekend. And I'm getting feedback. Sorry, hang on. There we go. um, tonight, as you all know, Creatorcon pops up every once in a while because I like to help people in the indie community because we're all just trying to get out there. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to get exposure, get respect in the industry, and push our passions. Hey, Comic Fanzine, what's going on? Is that you, Dell? And Will Playden, what's going on? So tonight we have Russell Allen, who is a guy in the community that's always trying to help. And one of the biggest things that he's been doing is his charity comic books for kids. And what he does is, just to give you an overview, is he gets a lot of people who are willing to donate art, comic books. Hey, Robert. Um, you know, Tons of things towards the cause that he can auction off, make some money, and then again, this is money that's going to go to sending comic books to children that are basically living in hospitals because of chronic illness, whether it's heart problems, God forbid, cancer, things of that nature. Angel, what's going on? So it's a really wonderful thing that he's doing, and the people involved. I've donated before, but there are people that are donating consistently. They're just awesome. Russell puts a lot of effort into this. And Russell's does also Kickstarters that help raise money for this as well. And tonight we're going to talk about the charity and a specific Kickstarter that he has, Cat Cat and Piggy Girl issue 1. Jason Meadows, who lettered my book, I believe lettered this too. I know I rep him and I had it set up and I don't remember anything because I don't sleep. But anyway, so we want to get Russell on and we want to talk about this because it's a great cause, of course, and Russell is relentless in his pursuit of helping these children because it is hits very close to home for Russell. He has a son that has had chronic illness, and Russell is one of those parents that lived through the nightmare of what their child goes through, and no parent should ever have to deal with that. So Russell's giving back, and that's an awesome thing. Just bear in mind, he's not as good looking as me, and you'll have to deal with that. But he's trying to do a good thing. So if you can overlook his funny looking face, we'll be good. Anyway, without further ado, my guest tonight, Russell Allen.
Man, I'm really getting sick and tired of being back here in this green room with only brown M&Ms. What kind of
Yeah,
bullshit is this?
you know why they're brown? Stuck them up my ass.
These are duty. They're WWs. They're duty
Yeah,
coated chocolates. Jesus,
yeah,
what kind of show is this, man?
yeah. We
You
treat our
know,
guests
hey,
right.
you better watch it. We'll turn this into a Philly roast again. I mean,
Hey,
I
listen,
had a lot of fun with that last time.
I'm fine with that.
I'm
Please,
waiting for Steph to come in with the cabbages and the tomatoes and the oranges and
oh,
just pummel
Steph
you
will
to
show
death.
up for 5 minutes, throw a few shots out there, then compliment me and disappear because he's so
Yeah,
freaking important.
yeah, he's too busy for us. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me on the show. I got a really exciting project going on, guys. I appreciate Phil. Those aren't M&Ms. That's right, they're not M&Ms.
So,
Um,
Randy, real quick, Randy, are you going to All Star tomorrow to see Scott Hanna? I'll be there. Anyway, let me know. Scott has a cover of mine actually. Um, so I'm sorry to cut you off. So go ahead. You were saying.
oh, you're good. So to give everybody a little bit of backstory. So my son has had two open heart surgeries and three cardiac caths. He was born with truncus arteriosus, which means he only had a single coronary artery. So when he had a second open heart surgery to replace the cadaver artery they put in for his second coronary artery, I we were in a telephone booth for 12 hours waiting for this phone on the wall to ring to hear how he was doing. And when we finally got up to his room after 12 hours, and they took him off the paralytic, and he started moving
Hmm.
around and stuff. He was crying. He was in pain. We couldn't get him to sit still. He's 2.5. How do you get a two and
Right.
a half year old to sit still? And so here comes the nurse with this freaking 99-cent Spider-Man Hot Wheel into the room, and he's just like all of a sudden he's just driving the car around. He forgets he's in pain. He's happy. My wife and I go and sit on the couch, and we de-stress. We're there for each other. We're just like, thank God, we made it through another one because he's gonna have him for the rest of his life. And I'm like,
Right.
man, it's really awesome that people donate this stuff to the hospital. I wish I could find something to give back. And so a few months later, I found this comic shop that did a weekly auction where you bought a $10 spot and they would have like a graded slab or a book that they would give away, and they would spin a wheel, everybody that donated $10, and somebody won. And I heard them explain comic books for kids, and I'm like, this is a great thing. I want to know more. So I started giving every week, and I started reading more about what comic books for kids was all about. And in 19, I had the honor of meeting Mark, which is the owner operator of CB4K, which is a 501c IRS recognized charity. They are nonprofit. They keep nothing. And I told him, I said, I really appreciate everything you do for the kids. And, something I want to tell you, it's not just good for the kids, it's good for the parents. It gives us some breathing
Right.
room. It gives us time to stop hovering over them, trying to take the pain away that we can. And
And when you
so,
see your child is feeling better, you feel better because no parent wants to see their child struggling or in
exactly.
pain or hurt.
So the first campaign of this bad boy right here, Xenonanite Titan, my first published book, it failed. But I had talked to Steph Wilson. I said, "Hey, do a piece with me as Xenonanite Titan with Roderick after an open heart surgery and Sissy at the end of the bed with the get well balloon." And that was Wendy's idea. They had Sissy in there. And I was reading a book to Roderick, and it said, "I'm a Titan for CB4K." And I put it on the Kickstarter. I'm like, shh, hush, hush, everybody. All proceeds, if you buy a shirt, goes towards CB4K. I sent them the money. And so Kickstarter failed. I was like, man, it sucks as a failure. I'm going to try to do it again. And lo and behold, Mark sees the post on Facebook when he logs in the morning and has his daughter message me and says, hey, Dad wants to talk to you. I'm like, man, I fucked up. I didn't ask for permission to do this. And so I called him up and I'm like, hey, Mark, what's going on? And he's like, hey, Russ, how you doing, man? We haven't talked for a little while. It's been about, a year or so. He's like, thanks a lot for giving and stuff. He's like, but man, that T-shirt's awesome. How would you like to be the official T-shirt supplier of, hey, Izzy, how would you like to be the official
Easy.
T-shirt supplier of CB4K? And I said, hell yeah, let's do this. So I wrangled up some artists, threw some shirts up on my website, and all proceeds from those go to help CB4K. So he had an idea. Let's take it further. Let's do a auction, a charity auction. How would you feel about doing that? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll do that. So when I go to cons, I ask artists or comic sellers, indie comic creators, hey, if you have anything that you'd be willing to donate, no pressure, but if you have something you haven't been able to sell that you'd like to, for me to put up to raise money for the kids, I would love it. And the outcry has been great.
We actually did an auction from my live, and you made some good money too.
Yeah, $1,500
People, yeah,
in an
people
hour and a
care.
half. In an hour and a
Yeah,
half, we made $1,500. And to put that in perspective, people, $25 is one box of 125 comics, Funko Pops, Pez dispensers, coloring books, stuffed animals. All this stuff is what they send to these hospitals and cancer centers to give out to these kids. So we did a hell of a. Phil was awesome. I mean, bringing me on to raise that kind
I
of
didn't
money.
mean it. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that people are giving and they want to. They
No,
want
I
to.
know
They
you didn't
want to
mean it
help.
like that, but I just, I like to give, share the love and say, it was a hell of a thing for you to bring me on and raise that kind of money. I would love to do it again this year. But Mark, I think Mark almost passed out when I sent over that kind of money. He was like, "Is this for real?" I'm like, "Well, it's, yes, you're not dreaming if that's what you're asking." I'm like, "I don't understand it. It's in your account. Yes, it's real. This is yours."
You
And
know that
so,
if you just got undressed and put on tassels, people would pay you a lot of money to get dressed, and you can make a
oh,
lot of money that
hey,
way.
I got some tassels. I got like my high school graduation one. I'll go grab them, folks. You want to pay me not to sit here and spend them on my nipples? So, he's like, why don't you try out doing, charity auctions if that's something that you want to do? And I'm like, sure, let's do it. So I started Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K, which is everybody donated to. We made a hell of a lot of money for CB4K. I think we did over like almost $4,000 last year in just a handful of months. I did it for 4 months. And so CB4K Day was in February. We did another $800, which was awesome. So fast forward, I redid the Kickstarter in February last year and funded and was able to raise money off those T-shirts. Well, November, I went and stayed at Steph and Carrie's house. We went and hung out together for my wife's birthday. And Carrie's like, why don't you write a children's comic book and see if you can get some artists to do art for it? Steph will do a cover for it. And you can sell it and send the money to CB4K. Well, I sat on that idea and I was like, I liked the idea, but I want to do something more than just send money. Everybody donates money, through the website and stuff. But I got to thinking, Dark Horse, IDW, Boom Studios, all Pop, Pez are all sponsors of CB4K. They send them stuff, but they don't really send critical illness children's stories. They don't really send stories that are centered around kids in the hospital, to inspire them and give them hope. So I'm like, all right, now I'm tasked with this. I want to write this book. I want it to be about them, but I want to raise money to send copies to them, not money. And so I sat on it, sat on it. It took me 2 months. I came up with the idea. The one thing Roderick always takes to the hospital with him is his cat cat. It's a stuffed cat. I got him at Purina Farms when he was 11 months old, and it's been the one thing that that kid cannot live without. If we go to the hospital without it, it'd be the end of the world. That'd kill him before anything else would. And so I'm like, I told my wife, I said, I got it. What if Cat Cat and Piggy, my daughter at a month old picked out Piggy when we went back to Purina Farms again for Halloween that year. She was a month old. She picked out Piggy. I'm like, what if our kids got superpowers from Cat Cat and Piggy? They found out they had powers, and something happens. They end up getting a transfer power, and they become superheroes. And now they're tasked with this great responsibility. And we can add in like topics like bullying, which is a big thing for me because Roderick, with his critical illness, he, having this cadaver artery, it could shatter. It could, if he takes a hard hit to the chest. So he is in first grade. He can't participate in gym with basketball or baseball or this or that. And kids really down him for it. And it's not fair. Roderick's been through more shit in his, 7 years of
Exactly.
life than most people go through their entire life. And you got these kids picking them. So that was kind of the first thing I wanted the first book to be about. So to give kind of like an elevator pitch of what the book is about, Cat Cat and Piggy Girl is about Roderick and Adriana, my kids. Roderick's a critical illness child that, is kind of down on himself. And one night they discover that their stuffed animals are really alive. And uh, through some series of unfortunate events, or should I say fortunate events, there's a transfer of power and they become Cat Cat and Piggy Girl. The next day they're like, oh, it was a dream. Their dad takes them to the park and they end up finding a bully at the park, and that's what the story's centered around. How to deal with bullying, and they may or may not have dreamed about what had happened, but you got to read the book to find out. So my goal with the Kickstarter was, I originally wasn't going to do a Kickstarter. I was going to print 100 copies and sell them, and then use that money to buy a print run. And I'm like, Kickstarter. I didn't want to do a Kickstarter because they take 10%. I wanted that money, all of
Right.
it, to go towards the kids. But then I got to thinking, is the 10% going to be worth it? Because people all around the world are going to see this Kickstarter. There's a chance that more people are going to be able to buy books, even though I'm going to lose 10% of what I get. It may be worth it in the long run because more people are going to know about CB4K. Possibly more people are going to buy the book. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that because you know what? I'm paying $250 or $300 or whatever to advertise CB4K to the world and what it's about. And some exciting news. I mean, Canada's been around for several years. The charity's been around for about 4 years now. UK just opened up a branch. A lot of people that have been given to me as far as art go have been from the UK, and they're like, hey, I had an open heart surgery when I was 5 years old. I really feel for your son, and I really wish something like this existed when I was a kid because this is making a difference in the world, and I really support what you do. And it was really great to hear that, that people really uh, clicked with it. So there was a great response to it. And he was like, how hard would it be? And I gave him Mark's info. Well, fast forward 7 months later, now there's CB4K UK. So now they're starting up over there.
Nice.
Here in the US, we're over 200 hospitals. So I want to get as many books as possible. 200 hospitals. If I'm able to do 2,000 books, that's 10 books a hospital to help spread the word. It's
Sure.
not just it's not just good for the kids. It's also good for the charity because you can bring more eyes through the parents and
Right.
stuff like that. But my goal was this: you got kids that are in hospitals. There's COVID. There's restrictions. When we were in the hospital with Roderick with his open heart, there were so many kids that never had visitors because we lived there. Like literally, we lived there. We were there nonstop because it could have been 5 minutes and he's gone.
Right.
We're way deep in the hospital. We didn't want to worry about that time, so we lived there pretty much. And then we stayed at the Ronald McDonald House across the street from the hospital because we live an hour away. But You've got kids that don't have their parents come visit. They live out of country. They live out of state because Cardinal Glennon is one of the top hospitals in the nation and in the world for open heart surgery and stuff like that. So you've got these kids, their parents are being responsible. They're going to work. They're making sure their son or their daughter has food and a roof over their house when they get home. And this kid's in there by themselves, or there's COVID restrictions. And you've got a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old kid going through chemo, throwing up, holding their own hair up, and then having pieces fall out in it. These are real situations. I don't mean to be, dark, but these are real situations that are happening in our world, in our
Sure.
nation, in our hospitals right now. So my goal was, let's write a fun book. It's got a great story. Most kids either take their stuffed animals or receive stuffed animals from the hospital. They're going to read the story. They're going to have escapism. They're going to have fun with it. Here's a child that's got an illness, but he's still a superhero. I have an illness. I can still be a superhero too. That's the message. And then they have their own stuffed animal. Hopefully, it inspires them to maybe draw their own comic with their stuffed animal, maybe go on adventures in their mind and imagine going on this crazy adventure with their stuffed animal. And then the third goal was I'm going to set up a group that it's going to allow kids to post pictures themselves with their stuffed animal, and they'll be entered into a contest. Everybody that posts in the page, I'll put them their names on a wheel, I'll spin it. Whatever name gets picked, they get to be a sidekick in issue 2. Issue
That's
3,
cool.
I'm going to do it again. And so you've got hope, you've got strength, inspiration. They're going to go on their own adventures, and they're going to be excited because, Mom, Dad, I could be Giraffe Boy. Mom, Dad, I could be Rhinoceros Boy. Whatever it is. And so this is all going to take their mind off of stuff. We're helping spread the word about CB4K. So, it was great. I reached out to you because I was looking for a letter. It was something that, at hindsight, I totally forgot about. I'm like, Phil, come to my rescue. I need a letter. And you're like, Jason Meadows said he'll do it. So, I mean, just the outcry of people just asking,
Jason's a
they
good
were
man.
they jumped to take the spot. So I couldn't be more thankful for Steph Wilson and Carrie Ann for doing a cover, to April for doing a cover, CB
Yeah.
Zane,
Steph said hi,
uh,
by the way.
hi buddy,
Nicholas,
CB
Nicholas,
Zane.
hi.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm thankful to him, and Rodney doing the interiors, and it was edited by this
Very
Chuck
cool.
guy, Chuck Pino. I don't know who he is. Some guy. I don't know. Just kidding, Chuck. I love you, buddy. But yeah. So I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about raising awareness of critical illness children, that CB4K exists, and it's setting up a mantle for these kids to carry the torch. One day when I'm gone and Mark's gone, they're gonna remember. Hey, when I was 7 years old, there was this charity that sent these books out, or sent stuffed animals and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm turning my
By
Wi-Fi
this
off on my
funny
phone.
looking guy with tassels on his nipples. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's all about keeping this going. I mean, this is something I don't want to die out. I don't want the torch to fall. I want somebody else to come in and pick it up and say, I want to take the place. I want to do these auctions. I want to write a book to inspire kids. That's what it's all about, is the next generation carrying this on. And so CB4K exists as long as possible, because it's important. I mean, you guys, as a father to a critical illness child, I really, see the benefits of all this stuff, and it's awesome what these things do for the kids.
Absolutely. So look, let's take a look at the campaign. We'll put out, even though I'm handsome, we'll put our faces to the side. um, First of all, congratulations, $3,150, and you still got 19 days to go. You've broken the goal, and then some. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the tassels, Randy. I mean, have you seen this guy? Oof. Anyway, so here's Cat Cat and Piggy Girl, and tell us about, you mentioned Steph Wilson, some other illustrators. Who are these? Well, we'll go through the covers and stuff. But 48 backers and 19 days to go. I'm just going to remind you that green button right there, back this project. Your money isn't taken out for another 19 days. So if you have it in your ability to donate, or even if you don't want the book, you can do a donation. If you want the book, then obviously pledge a tier. If you can't afford it, we understand. Just share it out. Let everybody know. Spread the word. Exposure and getting out to the more people is obviously huge. And
Yeah,
here
yeah,
you can hit
yeah,
this
and
button, and it'll remind you when it ends.
And just to emphasize what you said, Phil, guys, if you go come in here and you donate $1, you donate $5, I'm not going to be offended because if you come in and you donate $1, people follow you on Kickstarter. There's like I think mine last time I checked, there's like 300 people that follow me on Kickstarter. Those 300 people, every time I back a project, get an email that I backed that project.
Right.
And that's why you get those emails. So if you come in and you back it for $1, that dollar goes a long way because all those people that follow you are getting an email about this project, and there's a chance that they might check it out. They might be interested in back it, and they'll share it out, and it just keeps that train going. So, um, everybody that's backed, I appreciate you guys, and anybody that's willing to back, throw $1 at it, $5, or purchase the book. I want to emphasize that 100% of the money made after fees and sending
Printing.
out the pledged obligations to everybody, 100% of those funds is printing an overrun to send to the hospitals. I am keeping $0.
And I can vouch for him that that happens, guys. This is a legit, sincere thing. Again, I mean, here are his two main characters in his life and in his book, and I will tell you, no matter what his body odor is, Russell is a good guy and he cares, and this is sincere. Sean says, comics saved my life. I grew up with epilepsy, so when I couldn't play certain sports, I was reading comics. There you go. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sean. That is a perfect example of the power of comic books. And again, they don't make themselves. So that the kindness and the charity of people have made this book come together. Russell's time and energy and passion to get this going. Um, so, like here on the side, if you don't want the book itself, but you believe in the cause or you want to help the cause, you can manipulate this to be $1, $100, whatever you want it to be. Okay, so please consider that if you're able to. You can back that, and like he said, you'll be included in the emails. And we're going to go through some of the tiers, of course, to show you if you do want a physical copy of the book. Look, if you have children and you want to get them into comic books, here's another aspect of this. You pledge in the book, you're helping a great charity with the money, but then you get this book shipped to you and you can start growing your bond with your child in comic books and maybe get them hooked into comics because this is child friendly, obviously, for the sake of the children. Because the last time Russell's charity and he did the dismemberment book, it didn't go over well with the kids. The parents got all angry. I'm spoiling
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, we had the dad passed out drunk on a bench in one of the scenes in the book, and
And the
and
wife
and,
beat
and
her on, and it was
yeah, he had the
god.
wife beater on, and there was a hooker passed out on the bench, and the editor was just like, I don't think this is a great way to go with a charity book.
Yeah,
No, not really, folks.
not for kids.
Not really, folks. I really did. It's kind of been a joke, an inside joke for all of us. We were joking about doing an adult version and doing that just because it was funny, but like legitimately we weren't going to. But it was a joke that we had about the
Listen, at
dad
the end
being
of the
passed
day,
out.
life is very tough, and if you can't laugh, and it's going to be even rougher. So we try to
Exactly.
laugh and we joke because you know what? It's a serious thing.
It
I mean,
is.
just look at this picture above, and it's not to guilt anybody, but look at that. That's a little boy. I mean, how do you start off a life like that? So if you can give them a little joy with $10 of your money, I mean, the price of a Starbucks coffee or a crappy number seven at Wendy's, you can make a difference in a kid's life, and it's the truth. It's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's the truth.
Yeah. No, I'm
But
just laughing because you're firing shots off at Wendy's, and here I am. I'm tagging Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman because they got that little joke beef that they do online, and then they did like this supposed makeup commercial over Laughing Man coffee and aviation gin. And here I am tagging them and talking shit to both of them, saying, "Well, I heard Ryan Reynolds say your name is Huge Jackassman," and
now
yeah,
we're just
and
gonna.
folks, there he is. That's a week old. That was immediately after his first open heart surgery. There at a week old, he had 14 IVs. He had a drain that went in and hooked around into his heart. Of course, he was ventilated. He
We understand some people may not like these pictures, but this is reality. This is real, and this is what we're facing. These families and these people are facing. So, forgive us if it's a little graphic for you, but this is what
well,
this is what it's about.
Well, and one of the things I want to point out about this picture too, for anybody that that goes, well, why would they give comic books to this child? He's a week old. He's in the hospital bed. Siblings. I mean, that's a simple answer right there. You've got a 7-year-old sibling that's in there because the parents don't have somebody that can watch their
Right.
kid for a month, and they're sitting in the hospital. And what do? So the hospitals also give stuff to the siblings, to help take their mind off of what's going on because Adriana has a conniption fit, at when Roderick goes in for a cardiac cath or when he went in for surgery the last time. And she's beside herself, the anxiety. And, they come in and they say, hey, you want, they bring in like a trash truck from Dollar Tree. There's this little plastic toy that, is junk. But you know what? She played with it for 2 hours and didn't say anything, took her mind off of Roderick. And that's the power of, what a dollar can do from Dollar
Sure.
Tree.
Absolutely. I don't miss these days in the hospital, I'll tell you that. I'm a registered nurse, and I mean, I didn't deal with pediatrics. I mean, I did pediatrics in school, but I was med surg with adults, and it's not fun. Look at that face. What an adorable kid.
And then
This
this
is it.
video here, this was one of his cardiac caths. The Hooked on Comics sent him a care package, which is the place that I found out about CB4K through, and it's an absolutely adorable.
This is what you're fighting for and helping, guys.
What else is in there, Bubba? Just leave the peanuts. Why don't you pull everything out that's in there?
All kids, right? They'll play with the box.
I'm not for sure what those are.
Mama.
Those are Tsum Tsums. Yeah.
Are you sure?
You got it right,
No,
Randy.
Sissy, that's not
I got a picture of me in the old nurse's hat. It's pretty funny.
Oh.
It's a good care package.
What's that one?
By the
Is
way,
that
was a
Boof and the
bad
Bruise
place to put
Crew?
an IV, especially on a kid.
All right.
Number 4.
Yeah, that was a good job counting, buddy.
If Sissy puts the put that
What's this one?
Star
Wars.
Oh, I watch Star Wars.
So does yeah.
Who doesn't love Star
Now
Wars?
watch what he does with the Archie book. He's like, "Yep, nah." He's like, "Yeah, I'm not interested."
Look at him.
You can't tell that he likes superheroes at all. My favorite
Yeah.
part is here in a second. There's only like 30 seconds left of the video. It's not that long, but in a second here, he pulls out something and just loses it. What's this? Oh, you got a Superman ball? He's like, yeet. Oh, that's right up your alley. What are those?
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this care package made his day. And Sissy, of course, they sent something for Sissy. Here's a My Little Pony.
I think they put one in there
Oh.
for Sissy. Oh, did John and Mary send you a comic book too? Look, it's My Little Pony. Look. What's that one?
No, that's
No,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
He's just got a different type of. Yeah, he got a little confused with the black and red suit. He's used to the blue and red at that point in time, and I'm like, nope, buddy, that's Spider-Man. But yeah, he loves Spider-Man, and the Hulk. Those are his favorite.
Listen, to whoever is in the live show now and backs the most amount of money, I will send you on me for free the remastered edition of Tragedy 1 with the Ian Churchill cover. I will send you the Tyler Kirkham cover on Tragedy issue 2. You'll get issues 1 and 2 for free with the Ian Churchill and the Tyler Kirkham covers. To the person who's at the show with us now, who bids the highest, who does the highest donation on this campaign. So
Thank you for doing that. I
let's
appreciate
go
that.
down. See what's going on. Okay, so we got a cover. Tell us.
Yep,
Who,
then we got the Rodney Ficus cover here. This is the main cover. Rodney did the main cover as well as all of the interior art. And then that's the CB Zane cover there.
It's cool. They're running on the world there.
I love that. And then we've got the Steph and Carrie one. I love this one too. I love the furry letters.
I'm glad he didn't put big boobs on the kids. I mean, Jesus.
I know, right? I mean, can you imagine? I looked really hard trying to find circles on there, and I'm like, he
Yeah.
must have had a embolism whenever he did that. I
And
mean,
of course, no background.
and then we have April Reyna's cover
Very
here
nice.
with the kids playing in fort boxes with their stuffed animals.
Very cool. And who did interiors? Rodney?
Rodney did. Yep. Rodney
Very
did
nice.
pencils, inks, colors, and they turned out phenomenal. I put some of the penciled pages in here as well as the inked pages, and then there's one color page that I added in there. The book is almost done coloring. They're a little over halfway through it. So, excuse me. Before the campaign ends, it'll be sent over to Jason for lettering, and the comic book should be pretty much done or
Very
done
cool.
before the campaign ends.
Very cool. And you got add-ons?
Yeah, so Rodney and Tina added on. You guys can get the digital issues of 1 and 2 of Pitter Patter for $10, or you can get the physical copy of number 1 for 10, the physical copy of number 2 if you don't have it for 10, or you can get this combo for $15. And this is their kids book as well. So if you got a child at home or you got nieces, nephews, grandkids that they got a birthday coming up later on in the year or something you want to hold on to for Christmas, you can get the my book as well as the Pitter Patter books and give it to them as like a stocking stuffer or something.
Very cool.
And then this is the window cling that was unlocked. This was the first stretch goal. I took CB's art and I made it into a heart and added the slogan for CB4K. It says, "I'm a champion for CB4K.org." And so I have that as available as a t-shirt as well as all 4 covers.
Cool, but why are the models never like fat guys? Why couldn't it be a fat guy with this shirt, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're available all the way up to a 5X. So
Okay. Cool.
if you wear a 5X, I got you covered.
Kenny Calderon said he'd love to do some art for the campaign if you need or want.
Absolutely.
He's talented, man. He's a good guy.
Absolutely. I would appreciate that. Please send me a message either at Russ Explode Studios or you can send it to my personal account. It's russell.allen.1010.
Cool.
And you'll see coming up here, there's a lot of add-ons after the t-shirts. A lot of these have gone right away. I've got some foam grips. I make as many as are needed for the campaign. These are all actual ones that were made up for mock-ups. There's my cat when she was a kitten. That's Savannah. She's so cute. And of course, Wyvernite, the dragon from my book. I was like, oh, you know what? We need to add him as one too because he's pretty cool. And then I just got these in the mail today. These were donated.
Yeah, hang on. Show us.
Oh, yeah, my camera's off. Hold on. So I got these today. They're right here. There's Prince, Dracula, and Robert Smith.
Very cool.
So these were
Some
all
people think
from
Robert Smith was Dracula. Emo Dracula.
Emo Dracula. So these cards are available on the campaign as add-ons if you back the book. These have not been sold yet. I just added them a few days ago, as
Listen,
well as I'll show this one off. This
nice.
is an OA card. This is not a printed card. This is actually the original art here
Very cool.
from Ed Williams, from Ed's artworks. You can see the marker
Nice.
showing through on the back. So this is available as well as an add-on.
Real quick, Robert Gincarelli said, next overnight, I want you in that costume, Phil. So joking. I'll tell you what. I will wear a Cat Cat or Piggy costume as a grown man, and I will walk around a mall and video it if you all donate to the cause. How's that? I'll do it to donate for the cause. I'll walk around in one of those outfits. I might even look pretty hot.
And one of the cool things that I'm excited to do too is I'm going to keep a handful of the comic books, probably about 50 copies of it that I overrun, and I'm going to take it to Cardinal Glennon here in St. Louis and walk in and see if I'm able to, mask up, gown up, and go in and hand them out to the kids. I think that would be really cool to actually personally hand it out and sign them. So that's something I've got planned. So these were just added today. These are $40 each. They're high quality I can't ever say that word. Geekly prints. And there's 2 of Stitch available, and there's 2 of Captain America available. They're 9x12, high quality.
Very cool.
And then that is gone. The palette. What's that?
Who did them?
Rodney Fike. Rodney just
Okay.
finished Stitch on stream last week, and he just finished Cap here a few days ago. So
Very cool.
he ran off some prints of it for me and said I could put them up on here. So the lunchbox is gone. That's a vintage 60s lunchbox that was donated. That's a Vampirella number 4 out of my collection in the 6.0 CGC graded. I put that up on there. So if anybody's into vintage Vampirella books. RoboCop has been claimed. And the reason why, if anybody asks, the reason why that I'm leaving this stuff up here is sometimes people take stuff off because stuff happens. So I don't want to keep removing stuff and adding stuff and removing stuff and adding stuff. So if you go to the add-ons, once somebody claims an add-on, it goes off the list. So if you don't see it, it's been claimed. It was there. Somebody just bought it already. So at any time, if anything goes back up on that list and I see that somebody removed it, I will, send out an update saying, hey, this is available again, just to let people know if they were interested in something that's already gone. Chainsaw Head here is still available. That and RoboCop were both donated by Warren Brown. So thank you to him for that. Then,
Kenny, I'll do tassels if I don't get arrested, if it helps donate.
And then this is an 8x10 acrylic painting of The Woman by Doris Jones, Labor of Love. That is also still available. That is the OA for April Reyna's cover right there. I just got that in the mail the other day, and it's somewhere in this craziness of me putting stuff together. I don't know what I did with it. It's probably over on my other desk. I have 2 desks. So yes, I just got this in the mail the other day. So this is the line art for her cover. That's still available. Donatello. There I go, screwing it up. Michelangelo is taken. And then the next one, that was an example. Rodney offered up 2 commissions, and those have both been taken.
That's nice.
Yeah, that went pretty much.
Cristiano?
Yep, that's the original for the actual cover that was used for the first issue. So that one went pretty much right away when I added it. So I appreciate him. Yeah, I had it higher than that when I had it on the auctions. And then of course we got the Scary Stuff Wilson. Folks, we have 4 Scary Stuff Wilson. I'm sorry, Scary Library Ghosts still available. And I've got them right here with me.
And Martha.
Yep, both of her pieces have been claimed. So we had the A piece and the B piece. They both have been claimed. Oh yeah, I still am on the camera. There we go. So there we go. There's the
Yeah, hang
pop
on.
figures right
I'll
there.
pop you up bigger.
So there we go. We got the scary Steph Wilson pops. I want Slimer. Look at him. Isn't he cute?
Cool.
But yeah, both Marth pieces have been claimed. That was the 3D prototype that I had 3D printed of Raziel from Xenonanite Titan. Right here is a 9-inch figure. As you can tell, he's as big as my head.
Let's see. Hang on. You got a big head.
Yeah, I do have a big head, and look at that. So this went right away. This was a cool piece. This was a test print, and woo, almost dropped him. So there you go.
Yeah,
Look at
don't
them.
do that.
Do the booty shake. Do, 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 do.
Yes.
That was that was just for Dell. I know he enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know if Dell's still here.
Oh yeah,
Hi,
he
Lori.
probably bounced. So there was 2 copies of my book. When we went up in November for my wife's birthday and checked out the Cape Cod, I left a couple of copies of my book with stuff to do sketches in and auction off on the page. And they've been so busy they haven't had a chance to. So I reached out to them and said, "Hey, do you still have those books? Would you mind doing a sketch on the inside cover to put up on the Kickstarter?" And he said, "Absolutely." So like the next day, I got these pictures. I've got them. I actually just got them in the mail last week. And I put them up and they sold immediately. I think they were on there for 5 seconds.
Great.
So they were hot to try out the door.
That's good. So Steph doesn't go hungry, because he's really not that good. But I'm just kidding.
And the great thing about all these art donations to everybody that's donated and anybody that's wanting to donate, there's no overhead on this for me. So the $100 I made off of each one of those books, that's $200. After Kickstarter fees, $180 that's going towards printing extra copies of books. So that's been a huge help having this stuff too, because they're already buying a book. It's nothing really for me to add this stuff to a package, well protected, and ship it out, and to have the ability to print, $180 worth of books
Right.
off of a donation is absolutely amazing. So I appreciate
Randy, I
everyone.
sent you the link in your DM on Facebook, okay? Sorry to cut you off, Russ. Russell.
No, you're fine.
Randy's looking to donate on the Kickstarter. It's a pledge, and I wanted to send him the link because he can't right now from his phone. So you got Logs.
Alligator Loki. That was done by Eric Hawkins, the creator of the Zomberful World of Oz. Once again, guys, I like to shout out everyone, that's donated pieces on what they do. So Eric actually has a Kickstarter up right now for the Zomberful World of Oz. So please check it out. What's up, Jason?
Jason's the letterer on the book, guys. He donated his time. Great man. Really good guy.
So this piece, I believe, has been claimed as well. So Loki has. He actually drew that in front of me at Heroes for Kids Comic-Con in Perryville, Missouri. He lives in Wood River, Illinois.
Cool.
So he's about an hour from where I live. And we both ended up being seated next to each other at Heroes for Kids Comic-Con, and he was drawing that, and I was like, "Hey, man, can I buy that from you? I want to put it up in the charity auctions." And he's like,
Nice.
"Here, man, take it." So that was really awesome of him. So we've unlocked the sticker. We've unlocked the window cling, and there's another sticker that's supposed to be on there, but for some reason, every time I upload it, it disappears. So I got to fix that. And then we have the metal trading card art. So anybody that wants to see the prelims for that, actually, I can bring it up on my phone here. I don't have it on the Kickstarter yet because it's not finished.
If you send it in the Facebook Messenger, I can put it up on screen.
I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah.
That hasn't been added yet because it's still being worked on by Dre Studios, and this art card is looking phenomenal. I cannot wait to see it finished. He does such a great job. I took his art card that he did for Xenonanite Titan, and I put it on. I took it from a small art card to an 11 by 17, and it lost no detail at all. It looks phenomenal. So he does a heck of a job. So there's that piece right there. This will be the metal trading card once it's finished. We're about $850 from unlocking that now.
Sweet. Hopefully you'll be closer to that after the show.
I'm hoping. Man, I'm so excited to be at $3,000. Like, I was so excited to be funded day one because these kids, all these books are going to the kids, and it means the world to me, doing this and being able to give back to other kids like, we have been with Roderick. It's such a great thing that they do. And then at 55 backers, I'm gonna, at the end of the campaign, once everyone funds and the cards go through, I'm gonna take everyone at a physical level, and you're gonna be able to get a T-shirt of your choice. And it's not just the T-shirts on here. I will also do any of the T-shirts that are on my website. We've got the Mark, we've got the Mark CB4K shirt, Rodney Fike shirt, which has got Pitter Patter on it, the Wendy Steen Shaner shirt, and the April Grady Reyna shirt up on there. So. Any of those I'll be giving away, and we got some really cool stuff in the later ones. Like, it's not gonna be a T-shirt, folks. It's gonna be something really cool. So I'm really hoping we get to that 75 and that 100 backer mark, because you guys, it's cool. I can't say anything. I got to keep my mouth shut. I'm not gonna talk anymore.
Look at that mug.
I know, who's that ugly
Oh my.
doofus? Jeez. I know the camera added about 50 pounds to my face. Look like my head's the size. That's my favorite picture of Rodney. Right, I was like, man, Rodney's gonna kill me for using this picture, but I love it. Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Which one's Steph?
Yeah.
Just kidding, Steph. That has got to be my.
Steph's not here. He left. I told you. Comes in for 5 minutes. He's out.
Yeah, that is my favorite memory of Steph. So I got to tell the story real quick. You guys will get a good crack out of this. So, Brian Silverbacks, when he did the Kara Prime thing, he accidentally prematurely launched in the middle of the night, and I was awake because I was like having really bad pain that night. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like 1:30 in the morning. Who launches a project at that time? So I was like, whatever, to each their own. And so the next morning, he had posted, he's like, can I be on anybody's shows? I accidentally launched it last night. And that was before they added like the, preliminary buttons, like, hey, if you hit this button, you're going to launch. And he thought it was going to be like to share out to, to post about it. Yeah, no, he launched it. So I put together a show. It was me, Steph, I think Rodney, Sean Forney, Armando Ramirez, Adam Fields. We were all in this show. And so everybody's in there. We're all talking. And Steph pops in, and it went quiet. And there was a lot of, oh, he's a dude. I freaking lost it laughing, because that's something we give him shit about so much, is about, does anybody ever get confused when they walk up to the table and you and Carrie are standing there and which one Steph is? We just dog them hard about it. And so when he came in that live video, and they all were like, oh, I couldn't contain myself. I lost it. It's a dude.
Dude.
Go ahead.
He said, you're awesome, Russell. I'm glad your Kickstarter is doing well for you.
Thank you very much, Lori. I appreciate that. And thank you, Lori, for donating. Lori has bought stuff from the auction when Phil had me on last time. So thank you again for supporting the charity and what it stands for. I really do appreciate it.
He looks sinister there. Look at CB. Jeez.
I know.
Don't scare the kids, CB. My God. He looks
Well,
sinister.
CB doesn't have very many pictures on his profile of him, and the only other two pictures, it was going to be really hard to crop out the background without taking some of his head off, and it had the name of the Comic-Con in there, and I didn't want to get in trouble and somebody get upset that I included a picture that had their stuff, and you know how people are these days. So I was like, oh, this one doesn't have anything in the background. Boom.
So as far as the tiers, just so you guys can take a look, again, this number can be manipulated however you want to. It could be $1, it could be 50 cents, it could be $100, whatever you feel you can do. If you don't want the book, but you want to help the cause, please feel free to throw a donation in there. $10 helps send more free copies to hospitals, help print more copies. It gets you the digital copy of the book for $10. $30 gets the Rodney Fike, Sean Forney cover. $30 gets you Steph Wilson, Carrie Ann cover. $30 gets you April Reyna, the CB Zane. You can get all 4 covers for $100. Just remember, every penny that is made from this after Kickstarter takes their money is going back into printing and to the charity for the kids. Okay, Russell is not making any of this money. He's not pocketing any of this money. Neither is Mark. Nobody is. Okay, what's that?
This is the award that I got last year for all the hard work that everybody did. Lori for donating, Phil for having me on the show and helping me get this stuff out there. This award was because of everybody, not just me. I'm just
I
a
just sat there
facilitator.
and I
Everybody
just
that
sat there and pressed
donated,
start.
everybody that donated pieces, everybody that donated by buying pieces, everybody that had me on a show to support this, we did this together. And I want to make 2022 blow CB4K socks off. And, just, I want to drive up there. So this is my goal. If we hit 5K, I'm driving up there. Chicago's only 5 hours away from me. Washington's a little bit north of that. I'm going to drive up there. I already okayed this through CB4K, so this is the first of all that's being announced. This is the first time me talking about this. Is Mark okayed me? I talked to him on Wednesday and said, Mark, I got a great idea. If we hit 5K, I want to do a trip. I'm going to come up there. I'm going to haul all the books to you instead of shipping them, and I would love to do a live walkthrough of the facility, show everybody where the magic happens, where all the boxes and stuff get put together and shipped out, do a short interview with you. And he goes, Russell, I love that idea. Let's do it. And so that is going to be the $5,000 stretch goal. If we hit that, I will do
Cool.
a live trip to Chicago. So you'll get to chat with me live, ask questions and stuff on the way up there. And we will also get to do a tour of the facility. You'll get to see the books get handed off, and you'll get to ask Mark questions. So I think it'll be really cool. That way, also, too, people can see that, the books really do go where I say they're going. I'm a really big person on transparency. Every time people have donated money to the auctions, I always post the PayPals that I sent the money to CB4K. I don't do that just because I'm worried about somebody saying something. I'm doing it because nobody can say something. You guys see the proof that they really do get what you guys send over.
And as far as the tiers, for 150, you can get choice of 10 physical covers and the unlocked stretch goals. And remember, you get the free stretch goals with your donation too, with your pledge. And the last one is 250, Cat-tastic retailer tier. Get 20 covers of your choice. And here, Cat Cat let out a roar of happiness for wanting to showcase this awesome book. So 20 physical covers, the digital copy, and all of the unlocked stretch goals for 250.
Yeah. So folks, if
you're
you
a
got a
comics-
local
Sorry.
Yeah, if you got a local comic store that you go into, please tell them about that. If you are a retailer, please check this out and consider carrying this book in your store for the kids, and and just tell people, you purchased the books, that's why there's a little pricier than normal. Is all the money from the books went to charity. And with the price that's on the tier, you guys can even mark them down and still make money off of them. So, you can mark them down lower than what the cover price is on them. I put the $25 cover price because I am going to keep a handful of books at the cons to raise money. I'm going to pay for that run out of my pocket to make money for the production of book 2, because I'm going to plan on doing this every year around this time. So please, if you buy from a local store, go into your store the next time you go in and talk to them about it. Say, hey, there's this charity book to help send copies to sick kids in hospitals. They've got some retailer tiers. You ought to check it out. And if you want a QR code that they can scan, if you go to my personal page, and actually, I guess I ought to just put it in the Kickstarter too, because that would be a good way for people to do it. But there's a QR code on my page. All they have to do is open their camera and look at the QR code with it, and it'll pop up on the screen. You just tap the button, takes them straight to this page.
Just going to remind you, the show's going to be over in a few minutes. If you're the highest backer during the show, I will give you the remastered book 1 of Tragedy with the Ian Churchill cover and book 2 with the Tyler Kirkham cover. But you have to back before the end of the show, and you have to be the highest backer. So we got a few minutes, guys. I don't see that number going up. Come on now. It's for a good cause. Forgive me if I'm guilting you or pressuring you, but we dump money on garbage all the time, stuff we don't need or want. Here, let's think about somebody else and help the children. Seriously. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come toilet paper your house. And I'm tired. I don't really want to have to go, but a man's got to do what a man's got to do. So, We've got Cat Cat and Piggy Girl issue 1, illustrated by a lot of great artists, lettered by Jason Meadows, orchestrated by Russell Allen. Again, this is for comic books for kids. It's on Kickstarter now with 19 days to go. You hit this button, it'll remind you when it's going to end. So if you need to know 48 hours ahead of time, you get an email. But hit this green button and back the project, okay, which I'm going to do after the show. Back the project. Let's see that number go up. Let's really help. Plus, you will get unlock stretch goals. So give it a shot. And again, if you don't want any of the actual book or material, you can just donate right here. This number could be whatever you want. It could be $1. It could be 100. It could be 10. It could be 5. Whatever. Any bit that you could throw in there makes a difference. And if
And
you
guys,
can't
don't
do it
forget too,
financially, share.
if you buy a physical tier, then you have access to these super sweet OA art cards. These are all original art. They are signed on the back. And these were part of the Artists Assemble. These are artists that do the Artists Assemble Kickstarters, which that will be launching a new one on May 5th. It's the Cosplay Craze. These are awesome. I always back these because I love original art, and you get random pulls. You can buy one. You can buy, I think it's 1, 3, 5, and 10 and 20 packs of them. So guys, the ones that don't sell, these go on eBay for like $80 to $100 a piece. I think I have them on there for 30 or 40 bucks. So you guys are getting these for half price. These are original art. These are not prints. These are, you can see all the pencil marks and everything on them. These are original art. And again, this Spawn is also original art too. These aren't just printed trading cards. If you purchase a book, you guys can pick up this art at a super cheap price. I mean, like I said, this is half of what they go for, because everything that doesn't sell on the Kickstarter they put up on eBay, and they sell like hotcakes on there for 80 to 100 bucks. So at what I'm putting on these, I'm putting them on there to sell, go out the door, because I want to raise money for the kids, and that's what it's all about. That's what matters to me at the core of this is I don't win, the kids win.
Right. Well, before we get going, Russell, just give them the last, overall pitch on why and what their money is going to.
So, guys, I'm Russell Allen with Russ Explode Studios. Please check out Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. That is the page where I do the auctions from. My elevator pitch for Cat Cat and Piggy Girl is Cat Cat and Piggy Girl is about my son and my daughter, and they find out one night that their cat and their pig stuffed animals come to life and that they're superheroes with superpowers. So a transition of power happens through unfortunate circumstances, and they are now have the superpowers. But they wake up the next day and they're like, oh man, we were dreaming. And so they go to the park and they meet up with a bully. And from there, I can't really tell you what happens. You need to get the book and find out. Why did I do this book? I did this book for CB4K because my son's been through multiple open heart surgeries and cardiac caths. And I've seen the benefit that kids receive from getting these donations, from whether it's a Hot Wheel car, a coloring book, a comic book, a Pez dispenser, a pop figurine, a stuffed animal, all the above. My son has received while being in the hospital, and it makes a difference in their life. It helps give them strength, hope, and courage to be able to pull through that, especially the kids whose parents can't be there because they have to work to keep a roof over the child's head and keep food on the table and pay the medical bills. So every dollar going towards this Kickstarter makes a huge difference in the lives of these kids by helping send extra copies to the hospitals and cancer centers across the nation to give them something to read as escapism, to also give them the inspiration to either write their own book or go on their own adventures with their stuffy in their head, and just give them an out. What's up, Smithers?
Smithers is here. Smithers in the house. I haven't heard from or seen Smithers in a long time. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, you'd almost think he got blown to smithereens. Oh, because it is Explode Studios.
That's the group Smithereens. Anyway, all right. Russell, thanks for coming out. It's wonderful what you're doing, man. I really wish you the best. Whatever I
appreciate
can
it.
do to help, I try. And I just want to remind you, if you're an artist who's watched this, or a colorist, inker, anything, and you have any art that you want to donate to the auction, or maybe your services in some way, reach out to Russell. I put his link tree in the comments section right under James Smithers' post. So you can hit that link tree and you can go to wherever you need to go to see Russell, or you could just DM him on Facebook. He's a real easygoing, friendly guy. Um, and if you're willing or able to donate time, talent, or a product, art, trading cards, comic books that you've done, anything. Because even if your comic book or art isn't child appropriate, that's not where it's going. It will auction it off, and the money goes to getting the comic books to kids. So
Absolutely.
anything you can do to help. If you have a podcast and you want to have Russell on to promote his Kickstarter, or even just the comic books for kids, reach out to Russell. Let him know I'd love to have him on and give him some exposure. Listen, and I'm saying this as
And not the
serious.
Philip Russer kind of exposure, because he
Yeah.
exposes himself to me in the green room, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's how he got the brown M&Ms. But anyway,
Yeah.
boom, boom. I'm saying this with all seriousness, as a parent, as an old man. There's nothing worse than tainting the innocence of a child. I mean, how many years do we have to be kids and enjoy life compared to how many of a rough, being an adult? These kids are getting cheated out of that because of these chronic illnesses, living in hospitals, getting needles every day, IVs, poked and prodded by strangers. They don't have the comfort of a home. They don't get to go to play in school like other kids. They don't get to hang out and have sleepovers. They're sleepovers in a hospital. They're getting robbed of a childhood. So if we can
Yeah.
give them a little something like comic books, toys, just a little sense of normalcy, isn't it worth $5 or $10? I mean, honestly, aren't our children worth it?
And
Adults kind of become fucked up in the head, but kids are great. They're innocent.
Well, and to add on to what you're saying, it's absolutely true. Real quick, we live 25 minutes from Six Flags, which is, if you don't know what Six Flags is, imagine Disney World or whatever. Only this is
Great
Warner
Adventure
Brothers.
and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and so we have to drive by it all the time because it's off the main highway we live by, 44. And so when we go to Cardinal Glennon and come back, we have to drive by it, or we go anywhere, we drive by that. And the saddest thing one day when we were on our way back from one of Roderick's checkups, Adriana goes, "Oh man, Dad, I really want to go there." And Roderick hung his head low and he goes, "We can't ever go there, Sissy. It's my fault." And that's the worst feeling in the world, is to hear your son have that much guilt over something that he can't control, that nobody can
Right.
control, and that his sister can't go do it. And I told him, "No, Roderick, we can't go do it just because we can't go there because you can't go. That's a choice. It's not your fault. I made that choice to say, I'm not going to leave you somewhere and take your sister and have her
Right.
enjoy something you can't." I said, "That's not your guilt to carry." So it is very sad what these kids go through. So please, like Phil said, these kids go through hell, more hell than most people ever go through in their entire life. This is a chance to give them a reason to smile. This is a chance to and a reason for these kids to smile, and it could be the last time that parent sees their child smile. So think of that. You're putting a smile on a child's face and letting a parent see that for the last time. Imagine that.
And you're
That's the
giving
sad
them a
truth.
sense of normalcy even for 10 minutes.
Yep.
We take that for granted, guys. I mean, look at all the toys and art I have behind me and all the things and the luxuries, and these kids don't have that. So, seriously, please, just $5, $10, just something. Anyway, on that note, Russell, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great night. Anything I could do, DM me. If you want to come back on towards the end of the campaign, just let me know and we'll do it. And that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, and please check it out. And if you can't back it, please share it out.
Absolutely. Sharing is caring. I'll see you later, Russ.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. I'm very serious. I mean, kids, man. Kids and animals, they're the most innocent things on earth. They don't know what's going on. They don't get it. And it's not fair to rob kids of a childhood. So if you could do anything to just help in any way, donate something for the charity auctions, pledge on the campaign, share it out, like and comment on Russ's posts to bring him up in the algorithm. These are all little things that don't take much that can mean the world to somebody. I mean, I would hope that we all want to leave a legacy in life of having left something for someone else, you touch somebody else's life. So please consider that. Anyway, having said that, there's no Creatorcon shows scheduled for a while. Like I said, I only pop them up now once in a while when someone needs or asks for assistance with a campaign. Forgive me for my shameless plug right now, but my campaign starts Tuesday, and I'm a little nervous. So if you wouldn't mind checking it out, Tuesday at 9 p.m. I have a live launch party, live stream for Tragedy Chapter 3, and we will be launching. All right, so please come check it out. And that's about it. And I'm going to donate probably a set, not probably, I'm going to donate issues 1 through 3 if it helps you, Russell. Once 3 is printed with the more popular artist names, and if you can sell them and make some money, go for it. All right, guys, thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. Again, Tuesday night, come watch the live launch party. Come hang out, please, and help me launch strong so I don't have to shit myself for a month. Maybe fun real quick. All right. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Russell appreciates you. We appreciate Russell and everybody that contributes to this cause. Comic books for kids. Again, the links to the Kickstarter, courtesy of Raphael. Thanks, Raphael and myself. The links are in there. And the link tree to Russ Explode Studios is in there. You can also reach out to Russ to figure out how the hell to pronounce his book, Night Titan. Anyway, said that fast. Say that fast 10 times. That's it, folks. That's all, folks. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.